Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. Sometimes, no matter how many people are around us, we feel we're the only person that's living in this world. We feel lonely, we feel left out. Loneliness can be dangerous if we did not know how to handle it. But one thing that we don't realize is the same loneliness that is killing us, the same loneliness that disturbs us, can be changed into a blessing in life. Always remember, every challenge and every difficult situation that comes into your life can be changed into a blessing if you know how to handle it. So from this video, let's talk about how can we deal with the loneliness in life and how can we change this loneliness to a blessing in our life. To deal with loneliness, first of all, we need to understand what is the reason behind the loneliness. Now, so many people think that the loneliness or the suffering that you feel depends on other people, right? Depends on an outer source. When people leave you, when you are separated from your loved ones, you feel lonely. But that is not always the case, because even in the middle of relationships, even when you're being with other people, even when you're being with your family members, you might feel lonely, because the loneliness does not occur because of other people or an outer source. Loneliness occurs when your interactions with other people does not match your desires or does not match your expectations. And that expectation creates the vacuum of that missingness in life, and that creates the suffering. So the Buddha says that the loneliness or this suffering does not depend on an outer source, but also it depends on an inner problem. So the Buddha mentions this in Dhammapada verse 338. The Buddha says, "Just as a tree, though cut down, sprouts up again if its root remain uncut and firm, even so, until the craving that lies dormant is rooted out, suffering springs up again and again." So Buddha refers this to a tree, right? If a person comes to a tree and if he needs to remove the tree, so what he does is he cut down the tree from the trunk, okay? No matter how many times you cut down the tree from the trunk, it will grow back. Because, what is the reason? Because the root system is there still. As long as the root system is rooted on the ground, in the ground, the tree will grow back again and again. So the Buddha says, as long as the reason or the root cause for suffering is there, the suffering will spring up again and again. So what we have done in our whole life is trying to kill loneliness, but not the reason for the loneliness, right? So first of all, we need to understand that keeping your happiness, keeping your total happiness on other people and expecting other people to be around you totally and expecting other people to live up to your expectations is not going to happen all the time. And that creates the suffering and that creates the loneliness. So one thing that we need to understand is that loneliness does not always depend on an outer source. It depends on the cravings and the desires and the expectations that we are holding onto the interactions with other people. Okay, so luckily, because of this, we can change and we can convert this loneliness to a blessing. Okay, so how to do this? First of all, we need to change the perspective that we are holding onto the loneliness. So let me tell you a story about this. In the Buddha's time, before his enlightenment, he was practicing a practice called self-mortification. In this time, there were 5 monks who were helping to the Buddha. Now, these 5 monks had a lot of expectations on the Buddha that one day he will become enlightened and we will be also able to listen to his teachings and be enlightened. So he was practicing that, and they believed that the self-mortification or giving a lot of suffering to the body is the only way to find the liberation. But alas, one day the Buddha gave up this practice of self-mortification after practicing it for a long time. But the Buddha gave up this practice by understanding that this is no longer going to help him. And now all the expectations were destroyed. And these 5 monks were disappointed about the Buddha. So what they did, they left the Buddha and they went to Varanasi. And what happens to the Buddha was all alone in the middle of the jungle. He was abandoned. But here's the thing, he was not lonely. He was alone, but he was not lonely. Why? Because that loneliness, that silence, and that not being with around other people gave him the time to focus more into himself, right? So one thing that we need to understand is that when we feel lonely, it is an opportunity for us to focus on ourselves, right? It is a better time for you to focus on other people, because most of the time when we are too much around other people, we don't get much time to be with ourselves, be in our own company. So one thing that we need to understand is that loneliness creates the time and opportunity for you to focus more on yourself. Okay, so if you hold on to that view and think that, oh, now I am lonely and then now I am alone, but now this is the chance for me to focus on my inner values, so that you can build up your inner values, and you can care more about yourself, and you can focus on your what mistakes that do I have inside my life, what should I do and what should I practice. The more you focus onto yourself, you can develop and you get the chance to develop your inner habits and good values into you, so that it creates a better personality inside you. So understand that the loneliness or not being around other people is not always a suffering. It is an opportunity for all of you to build up a better life. So what you have to do, get this time and take this time and take this opportunity for you to be more focused into yourself and to practice this self-love, self-compassion, and also to build up good habits in your life. If you understand this way of dealing with loneliness, the loneliness will become a blessing to your life. And one day you will thank for that loneliness because it created who you are today. So understand that loneliness does not always depend on other people. It always depends on what weave you're holding onto this experience in life. So be more focused onto yourself, into yourself, and create a better life for you. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to face criticism. Now criticism is something that we all have to face in all of our lives. But many of us don't know how to face it successfully. But our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us how to face these circumstances successfully. So today we are going to learn that. First of all, remember, criticism, bullies, adversities, these are common experiences for all the humans, right? Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, Natti loke anindito. There's no one that has not been criticized by people. Remember, whatever you do, whatever you say, people always criticize you. Because people always see you what they want to see, not the exact you. So, criticism and bullies are common experiences. But when we are going through such experiences, we feel sad. That is called the mental sorrow, mental sadness. Due to this mental sadness, we fail and we fall down either physically also. So, what we should practice and what we should do when someone criticizes us, when someone blames us. There's a discourse that was given by our great Arahant Sariputta. And in that discourse, it says, when someone complains you, when someone bullies you, or when someone blames you, you need to have two things in your heart or in your mind to face it successfully. So what are these two things? Number one, Arahant Sariputta said, you should be truthful. So what is truthfulness? Truthfulness is when someone complains you, or when someone complains you about a mistake that has done by yourself, then you have to be truthful. You have to accept your mistake because you have done it, right? If someone asks you that, have you done this mistake? Then if you have done it, really, you have to say yes. But most of the time, when we do mistakes, we try to hide them, right? We try to hide them by telling lies. Remember, when you tell lies, you have to remember everything, every lie that you have said, because you need to protect that lie. But if you said the truth, if you admit your fault, then you don't want to remember anything, right? Remember, mistakes can happen from anyone. We are not perfect creatures, right? We all have defilements, we all have problems, we all have difficulties, we all make mistakes. So, there's nothing to be ashamed of making mistakes. Therefore, what you should do when someone complains you, when someone blames you, or when someone accuses you for a mistake that has done by you, just admit it. Be humble, right? When you admit your fault, you win the trust of people. But if you did not admit your fault, what will happen? They will never trust you, right? So what you have to do, if you have done a mistake, just admit it. Say the truth. I have done it and I'm not going to do it again. I will correct my mistakes. That is what you have to do. So the first thing that you should have in your heart when you face complaints, when you face criticisms, what you have to do, be truthful. And also, if someone complains you for a mistake that you haven't done, let's say you didn't do anything of that mistake, you know nothing about that, but still people will complain you because of the misunderstandings. So in that case, how you should face that? In that case also, you should be truthful. Directly, you can say, I haven't done this mistake. But if they are not going to believe it, or if they are not going to understand it, you don't want to prove them I am correct again and again. Just stay calm and just smile, right? And stay cool. That is what you have to do. So in that case also, you have to be truthful. Number two, Arahant Sariputta said, you need to practice the love and the kindness and non-hatredness in your mind. You don't want to hate people when they are criticizing you, because sometimes they don't know about our story. Sometimes they don't know about our mind, what are the difficulties of us. Still they complain us. So when someone complains you for a mistake that has done by yourself, that means if you own that mistake, then you don't want to be angry with them, because you have done the mistake. So what you have to do, just simply admit it. When you admit the fault, you are not providing any fuel to his anger, to other people's anger, right? For an example, if a person, right, if the boss of your company came to you, and if he started complaining, if you admit your fault, then it's okay, right? He will blame for some time, but he no longer can take it for a long time. Just have the non-hatredness inside your heart. just smile to them. And also, if they accuse you for a false accusation, don't hate them back. You need to forgive them because you haven't done any mistake. The mistake has happened by them, right? So if some people, if anyone has done a mistake to you, then what you have to do? You need to have that ability to forgive them. Remember, when you forgive people, you become free, right? Your heart becomes free. So, you need to forgive people to free your heart because of your peacefulness, not because that others deserve your forgiveness. So what you have to do, forgive people. They don't know our story. They don't know anything about us. So that is how you face the criticism. So practice the truthfulness and also non-hatredness or the loving kindness when you face the criticisms and bullies in this world. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome you all wonderful people and my dear children. This is the third video of Essence of Buddhism video series. So today we are going to learn the 185th verse of Dhammapada, where Buddha describes us the essence of Buddhism, or what Buddha really taught to this world. So first of all, as usual, same as in the other videos, I will chant the words for you and then we are going to learn the meaning. So the verse goes like this. Anupavado anupaghato patimukhecha sangharo matanyuta cha bhattasmin pantang cha sayanasanam adhichitte cha ayogo etang buddhana sasanam. So let's learn the meaning of it. In this verse, Buddha says, Anupavado anupaghato. Do not disparage others or do not look down on others and do not destroy others' lives. This is the Buddha's teaching or Buddha's advice to this world. Now in this line, Buddha says, do not look down on others. Do not compare yourself with others and do not think of yourself like I am a high-valued person, I am better than them, right? Simply, Buddha says, in another verse, Buddha says, do not be big-headed. And also, Buddha says, do not destroy the lives of beings. This is the first precept that we observe as Buddhists all around the world. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhyami. That means we refrain from taking others' lives, taking lives of the beings. So the Buddha's advice to this world, or Buddha's teaching to this world, is to refrain from being swollen-headed and to refrain from killing animals. And in the next line, Buddha says, Pati mokhe cha sangvaro. Be disciplined according to the monastic code of conduct, or monastic rules. Now this line is referred to the monks actually, right? When it comes to the monkhood, we have the precepts. We have many precepts to protect. They are like code of conducts, right? It purifies our bodily conduct and the verbal conduct. So Buddha advises us to be disciplined. Simply, you can relate it to your life, to be disciplined from your body and from your words, right? So the discipline is a bigger part in Buddhism, to be disciplined, to have a good moral conduct. So Buddha said, be disciplined according to the monastic code. And then Buddha said, Mattanyuta bhattasmi. Now this is very important for every one of us, right? What is that? Be moderate in eating. The moderation of food. What do you mean by moderation of food? Simply, it means know the purpose of eating. Sometimes we forget why we are eating. Sometimes we overeat. We eat too much, and that gives this physical uncomfortableness. Now Buddha said, eat according to your health, right? Eat the food to have a better health and to sustain this life, not to enjoy by eating too much and be living an unhealthy life. So in Buddhism, healthiness or this health is a bigger part. Buddha said, Arogya Paramalava. Health is the greatest gift that you can receive in this world. So Buddha says, be moderate in eating. Right? Do not overeat. Because when we overeat, our craving and our lust take over our mind. That is why we overeat. So be moderate in eating and know the purpose of the food. Then Buddha said, Pantangcha Sayanasana. Now this is also referred to the monks, right? Buddha advised us to live in the forest where you are secluded from the people. You're away from this distraction. Now you may not have this chance to live in a forest or live in a quiet and calm and peaceful place. Maybe you are living in a town in the middle of distraction. So how could you find the peacefulness according to Buddha's teachings? Now remember, the distraction is not really the distraction. You can live peacefully and you can live calmly in the middle of the distractions too, if you find the silence in between these distractions. Because now, for an example, if we try to meditate, right? Suppose a distractive sound came up. Maybe someone is banging to a nail. Maybe someone is making some noises. What is our reaction? What will be our reaction? Our reaction will be the anger, right? Our mind just clashes with that sound. So that will be a distraction. If you know how to meditate correctly, right? If you know how to meditate correctly, you can live with that distraction. You can live with that sound. You can be friendly with that sound. When you become friendly with the noises and the distractions, they will not bother you, right? So that is the thing. You can find the peacefulness and the silence even in the middle of the distractions. So don't worry about the place you are living. Try to be peaceful. Try to do a little bit of a meditation. Be by yourself. Right? Be secluded from the people for a little while, even for a day, for a little time in a day, and then you can find the peacefulness. So that is why Buddha said, so to dwell in the forest, for the monks actually, and then adhichittecha ayogo. Now this is very important. Buddha said, be devoted to the meditation. Meditation must be a bigger part of your life. There are so many people, they are not meditating, right? But meditation must be a bigger part of our life. Because through that meditation, if we are meditating, you will start to feel the peacefulness, right? If you are doing it for a long time, continuously, you will start to feel. The reason why many people doesn't find meditation is so enjoyable is because they give up in the first place. They expect too much from that life. They expect this calmness and peacefulness and stillness in the mind from the first session of the meditation or first day of the meditation. Trust me, that is not going to happen for many people. If there are lucky people out there, it will happen, but for many people it's not going to happen. So don't expect too much from your meditation. Just you have to hang into the process, keep doing it for a long time, then you will feel the peacefulness. So these are the pieces of advice that was given by the Buddha to this world. This is what the Buddha taught to this world. If we practice this, regardless of any kind of religion, everyone can practice this, right? Everyone can master these skills. And when you practice the Buddha's teachings, surely you will find the happiness of your life. So practice the Buddha's teachings. Be mindful, be kind, and be wise. And then you can live a happy life in this world. Namo Buddhaya. First of all, we have to realize that living in the present moment, focusing your mind to the present moment is not a simple thing. It is very hard, but also it is an achievable target. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, Atitang nanvagameya nappati kanke anagata. You should not chase after the past. And also, you should not make too much expectations about the future. Supreme Buddha said, Yadati tang pahinantang appattancha anagata. What is past is left behind. It is gone. It is over now. Appattancha anagata. The future is yet to come. It hasn't reached yet. Buddha said, Pachuppanancha yo dhammang tattha tattha vipassati. What you have to do is live in the present moment and see the present moment as it is. Right? Realize the present moment as it is. So it is very hard to focus your mind to the present moment. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us the nature of the mind is it always runs to the past. Normally, our mind has a habit to wander in the past, memories. Right? When we are alone, when we are solitude, and when we live in our life alone, lonely, normally, it is the nature our mind runs to the past. It lives in the past memories, thinking about them. Sometimes you may regret about them. Sometimes you may be happy about them. Sometimes you may cry about them. Right? So that is the nature of our mind. It is always wandering in the past. And also sometimes our mind try to make expectations, too much expectations about the future. Right? People dream too much about their future, but they do not work for the dreams to come true. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you should not let your mind to wander in the past, as well as you should not let your mind to go for the future and make too much expectations about that. What you have to do is, you have to work in the present moment to make your future better, as well as to make your past better. Because when you live correctly in the present moment, right, your past will be a good one because you have lived in the correct way. And also, if you are sure that you are living correctly in the right way in the present moment, your future will be also a good one because you are doing the right thing right now. So, you need to have a good practice to focus your mind to the present moment. So it should be practiced by meditation, as well as it should be practiced in the practical world, in your life. So I will teach you some tricks or things that you should practice in your life to be in the present moment, right? So when you have a free time, right, dedicate yourself to live in the present moment for a little time. During the day, when you have the free time, allocate your time about 5 minutes to live in the present moment. Sit on a chair, you can close your eyes, and just experience that you are in your present. You are not in your past, you are not in your future, always you are in your present. That is the reality, right? The past has gone, as well as the future hasn't come yet, right? So close your eyes and just try to focus your mind to the present moment. Try to think about what you feel, what you hear, and what you think about. All the things that you experience now will fade away to the past, and it will go into the arena of past, right? So take your time in the day and practice this. The best way to focus your mind to the present moment is the breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is one of the best meditations that you can bring your mind from the arena of past and the future to the present moment. Because the breath, when you're focusing on your breath, right, always the breath arises and it goes down. So this breath prevails in the present. So when you focus your mind to the breath, then your mind is always in the present moment. And also, you have to practice to live in the present moment in your practical life, in your day-to-day life. So how to do that? So it is very beneficial to live in the present when you are in the hard times, when you are going through a problem. Now suppose if a person comes to you and started blaming you. Now when he is blaming, you hear that sound, the words, right? When we think about these words, right? When he is blaming, you hear that, and after that very moment, it has gone to the arena of past. Those words are not prevailing anymore, right? But our mind does not like to think that. Our mind clings to those words, right? Our mind tries to hold on to those words, and what our mind does is it always make a loop-like thing to bring back all those thoughts, all those words again and again to our mind, and that is why we are suffering. That is why we feel hurt, right? If we can realize the reality that all these words that I heard has gone to the past, they are no longer here anymore, they are vanished, then you don't want to suffer for anything, right? Because it has gone to the past. You cannot do anything about that. But our mind is not ready for that, right? Our mind tries to cling to those words, right? So what you have to do, when someone blames you, when you are going through a hard time, realize that all those things are impermanent, and it vanishes very quickly from my life. So I don't want to worry about them, right? So if you are living in the present moment correctly, doing the correct thing, doing the right thing, doing good things, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. Of course, you can make the plans for the future, no problem, but do not dream too much about it. Because the more we dream, it is like we are stopping our vehicle and just looking towards the road without driving, right? The more we dream, we feel jealous about the achievers who achieve our goals, right? So it is like you are stopping your vehicle on the road and looking at the vehicles that pass by. You're not driving, right? You can make your plans, you can make your goals, but do not dream too much about it. Just start working for it, right? So the dream becomes a goal when you are working on it only. So if you can live in the present, doing the correct thing, doing what should be done now, you don't want to worry about the past as well as you don't want to worry about the future. So in that way, you will have a life without regret and without worrying about the future and the past, and live your life in the present moment and be happy by your life. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, let's talk about how to control these emotions of anger. Well, anger itself is a natural human emotion. We all feel angry. But if we do not know how to control this emotion, if we do not know how to deal with anger, sometimes it can be destructive. And if we let that anger to control over our life, we will get into lots of troubles. So, today, I'm going to introduce you a little practice that you can practice in your practical life to deal with this emotion. Well, first of all, I have to remember none of these practices are easy. In fact, nothing in life that brings us the happiness, that brings the peacefulness to your life is not an easy task. It is a difficult one. Though it is difficult, we cannot abandon it because we like to be happy and we like to be peaceful in our life. So that is why Buddha said that everything that brings the happiness to your life is a difficult task. So what are the things that we can do to deal with these emotions of anger? Well, the first and the foremost thing that you can do to deal with these emotions is to acknowledge that your thoughts are in anger. If you don't know your thoughts are in anger, you cannot deal with it. So this includes the mindfulness, right? Whenever you are about to get angry, whenever you feel that you are triggered by this anger, just ask this question: what am I thinking now? In which mode my thoughts are in now, right? Whenever you ask that question and whenever you answer it, you can find, oh, I'm about to get angry now. Now my thoughts are in anger. That is the first step, to know that you are angry. Then it comes to the second step, right? So in this second step, if you look at this, if I ask a question from you, whenever you feel angry, imagine a situation that you have felt angry about something or someone, right? How your breathing pattern works. How our breathing pattern changes when we feel angry. It speeds up and we take short breaths, right? So that gives the sign to our body, that gives the message to our body that now you're ready for getting angry. We are breathing heavily, we are breathing in short periods, and we are breathing speedily. So the first thing that you can do is to slow down your breathing pattern. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. Slowing down the breathing pattern will help you to calm your body and calm your mind, right? Whenever we feel calm and when we are about to take a rest, what is the thing that we do? For an example, after a long day of work, when you come home and after having a good shower, if you fell on the couch, right? If you fell on the bed, what is the first thing that you do? You take a deep breath in and let it out. That is the thing that you do. That means you are giving the signal to your body that you are about to get calm or to have a rest. So the thing that we have to do, whenever we feel angry, whenever we feel we panicked, just give the message to your body that be calm by taking 2 to 3 deep breaths in and out. Right? So breathing can help you a lot. Then as the third step, now you're a little bit peaceful and calming. Now you can wisely reflect on your thought pattern. When you reflect about your thoughts, you can find, why did I become angry with this person? What is that? Then you can find that anger does not prevail in the outer world, in that person or that thing, specific thing. Anger prevails in my mind, right? It is something that I have created. Whenever you come to a situation that you are triggered to be angry, you come up with these two choices, either to react with negativity or to respond with positivity. That is up to you, right? And your experiences and your good and bad experiences depends on these choices that you make. So you totally have the power and you totally have the privilege to respond with positivity, right? So you have to believe in patience for that. Remember, there is nothing in this world, there is no problem in this world that has been solved with anger. That is why Buddha said, anger does not cease by anger, or hatred does not cease by hatred. Hatred is seized by love and kindness only. So you have to believe in patience and compassion and forgiveness. That is the way that you are going to solve the problem, right? Though you react in anger, though you yell out or scream or take actions with anger, that is not going to help. That is not going to solve the problem. It will make the problem even more worse. I have seen lots of people who could not control their anger for a split second. Just because they could not control their anger for a split second, now they are regretting for their whole life. So remember, anger is not going to help you. So when you believe in patience and kindness and compassion, you will have this strength to face that situation more positively. Remember what Buddha said. The Buddha said, before you do something from your body, from your speech, or from your mind, just wisely reflect that what I'm going to do, is this worthy of doing? Is it bringing happiness to myself, or is it bringing happiness to others? Is it going to hurt others, or is it going to hurt myself? If it is hurting you and if it is hurting to other self, do not try to do it. Remember, it is okay that we feel angry sometimes in our mind, but it is not okay to let that anger to flow out from our bodily actions and our words, right? So remember, this is how we can control it. Always believe in patience and kindness. That is where you're gonna solve the problems. So this is a little practice where we can deal with these emotions of anger. So practice these practices little by little and make your life a peaceful one. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 4 signs that you're having a toxic friendship. Now, before we discuss about these things, I have to mention and I have to say that the sole purpose of this discussion is not to attack on someone's personal life, not to criticize someone or not to judge someone, but to understand that mistakes can happen from everyone. We make mistakes, we all make mistakes, but we have to be wise when we deal with people, because the most important thing in our life is the peacefulness in our mind and the mental health. So with that in your mind, let's dive into today's video. So the first sign of a toxic relationship is They are only willing to take something from you, but they are not willing to give anything, right? Remember, when it is a friendship or if it is a relationship, it must be a give and take process. That means when you give something, they must give something back. Okay? When relationships and friendships become a one-way road, it is very painful. That is why when you spot such a friend, the first thing that you have to do is do not be too quick to judge them. Because sometimes people are going through tough times in their life, right? Sometimes they are suffering personally. They're not in a good condition to help you. So what you have to do is, you have to look for the person behind the actions. You have to look for the intention behind their words. Okay? So if you really found such a sign in your friendship, what you have to do is set your boundaries. Okay? Limit your boundaries. And you have to decide whether I'm going to let this person to enter to my life or whether I'm not going to let him enter to my life. So keep that in your mind. That is the first sign. Then let's move to the second sign. The second sign is they only talk, but they are not willing to help you in actions. Okay? This is a friendship that is based only on words. Okay? They will praise you and they will be nice to you, right? They will say and they will give you promises to you, but only with the words, but not with actions. Remember, actions speak louder than words. So if it is a friendship, you must be a friend from your words as well as from your actions. Okay? That is the second sign. They only talk, but they are not willing to help you with actions. Moving on to the third sign, we have flattering friends. Flattering friends are the people who talk nice things about you in front of you. They will praise you, they will compliment you, but they are not afraid to put you down behind your back. Okay? You have to be very careful when you deal with such people. We should not hate anyone. We should not be angry with these people. What you have to do is, you have to understand about the nature of people, nature of the intentions of the people, and forgive them, right? Forgive them and use your wisdom to stay away from their negativity. And that is the real meaning of kindness. To forgive someone and to stay away from people's negativity. So when you spot flattering friends, it's okay to be with them, it's okay to talk with them, but you have to be wise when you deal with such people. And finally, we have evil helpers. Evil helpers are the people who helps you in doing bad things. That means when you're about to do a bad thing, or when you're about to do a thing that is not good for your life and for your mental health, they will help you in doing it. Right? They will feel your anger. They will feel your jealousy. Okay? They will help you in doing bad things that brings the regret to your life. Right? So you should be very careful and you should stay away from these people. So these are the 4 signs that you're having a toxic friendship. Now, why should we become so much aware of these friends and these signs? Because, do you know, our characters shaped by the people who we associate, right? There's a saying, it says, you are the average of 5 people that you are associating closely. That means we become who we associate. Therefore, surround yourself with positive people and the people who can uplift you and support you. And finally, remember that you deserve positive and healthy friendships that supports your life and your personal growth. Keep it in your mind. Namo Buddhaya.